Welcome back to Math 103. This is video number 13 on fair division. We've just gone through the steps of resolving a standoff in the lone divider method, and the last one was to say that the remaining players, the ones who were involved in the standoff themselves, applied the divider-chooser method to the remaining supershare. Now, here is a shocking fact, which students are quite reluctant to believe. When we say at the end of this process that we give Gail a certain share, we give Hank a certain share, we then merge the remaining shares into a single super share, we say that Eve and Fred now apply the divider-chooser method to the super share, that's actually as much detail as we can provide based on the given information. In other words, we don't have enough information to say, aha, well, when Eve and Fred apply the divider-chooser method, then if Eve is the divider, she places those orange cones in such and such location. No, we actually don't know enough to say exactly where Eve would put the orange cones if she were the divider, or where Fred would put the orange cones if he were the divider. We just don't have that information. But what we can answer are the following questions. We can answer the question, ultimately, after the standoff has been resolved, Eve will receive a share worth at least how much in dollars? And why is she guaranteed at least this much? Okay. We can answer the question, what fraction of the value of the whole property is the amount that she's guaranteed? Is this a fair share for her in terms of the problem we started with of dividing the land among 4 siblings? Okay. So let's understand this question and what it means to answer it. We can also ask the very same set of questions about Fred and how this ends up for him. The merged plot of land we're talking about, this merger of S1 and S3, has a certain value to Eve. We can figure out what that value is to Eve in total by looking at her original valuations of S1 and S3. So this is some big plot of land, and it's worth a total of $100,000 plus $500,000 to her. Okay? It's worth a total of $600,000 to Eve. Now, she and Fred are dividing up this piece of land right here between the two of them, and when they apply the divider-chooser method, that's a method that will guarantee each of them at least half of what they each think this plot of land is worth. So if Eve thinks that this plot of land here is worth $600,000 total, and she is one of the participants in the divider-chooser method, divvying it up, then she'll get a share worth at least half that much. Okay? So right now, she and Fred are carrying out a fair division problem, a mini fair division problem, inside the original fair division problem. Right? So she and Fred are dividing up what to her is a $600,000 piece of land. If she happens to be the divider here, she'll get exactly $300,000 worth of land, and if she happens to be the chooser here, she'll get at least $300,000 worth and maybe more. Okay, so when Fred and Eve are focusing on this last part of the fair division problem, the rest of this land doesn't matter. Only this land that they're currently focusing on matters, and that's a $600,000 piece of land to her. She's entitled to a share worth at least half that much. That's really all we can say about the value of what she gets. Okay? So God knows where these orange cones, this new set of orange cones, is going to get placed. So having figured out that the share that she gets, whichever share she gets out of this super share, whichever she gets is going to be worth at least $300,000 to her, we can look back at the original problem. The original problem was that she is one of 4 siblings. They're dividing up a large plot of land. The original problem was to figure out what Eve is going to get in relation to the whole piece of land that she thinks is worth $800,000. Right? So this last step, resolving the standoff, gives her at least $300,000 worth of land. That's out of the original total of $800,000. So she is guaranteed at the end of the day to get a share worth at least $300,000 out of the total value of $800,000, and that's 37.5% of the total value of the whole original property in her eyes. So the original problem was to give her at least 1/4 of the value of all the land to be split up among all 4 siblings. So at the end of the day, she does indeed get a share worth at least that much. In fact, she's doing quite a bit better than merely 25%. Before going on to the next video, answer the same set of questions from Fred's point of view. So, within the resolution of the standoff, Eve and Fred are dividing up this supershare between them, and we can ask, ultimately, after the standoff has been resolved, Fred will receive a share worth at least how much to him in dollars. And then we can follow up and say, well, now back in terms of the original total problem of all the land, what fraction of the value of the whole property is he guaranteed? And is this a fair share for him in terms of the original problem of divvying up the entire piece of land among 4 siblings?